Hope my screen is visible. And in yesterday's class, what we have seen in yesterday's class is just a recap of yesterday's class. So we have seen the alter table, right? Alter table command, how to rename the table name using alter table command, and how to rename the column and how to modify the column type and everything we have seen, right? So you guys just practice how to drop the column and all the other stuffs, okay? How to drop the column and what are all the things you can do with the related to alter table. You can just give a try and take this as an exercise, okay? So there are many things in the alter table, okay? And what else we have seen yesterday? The sequence, right? So the sequence is nothing but it will generate a sequence of numbers uh, in a customized way, right? So these parameters, we have already seen all these parameters. What is the starting value? Without these parameters, if you give just a sequence name alone, here create sequence name alone, then by default it will take one. It will start from the one and it will increment one by one, like it will act like a serial. But if you can able to give the start value, increment value, and min max and everything here, okay, in a customized way. So we have seen the functions also. Next, what the next val will do, set val function, cur current val, last val. So everything we have seen in the yesterday's session. How to create a sequence, simple sequence creation, how to do it in ascending order sequence and descending order, and how to access using these functions, right? How to access the sequence using these functions. And we just join with some table, right? And we have seen the serial data type versus sequence, how the serial data type, if I give any column with the serial data type, how it reacts and how the sequence reacts, right? We have seen already in the yesterday's session. So this is the simple recap of the yesterday's session. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to create the same sequence, okay, by concatenating some string with the sequence. So this is also in a customized way, okay? So this is also in a customized way. And after that, we are going to see the default, okay? Default and drop and truncate. These are the topics which we are going to see in today's session. So please try to practice parallelly with me so that only um, you can able to do it. Okay, yes, in yesterday's session we have created this table, right? Employee, let us check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect slash /c num. This is our database name, right? Num db class. So this is the database name. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see the what are all the relation. Let me increase the font size, okay, so that it will be visible to you guys. Okay, here. So we have already having the employee or not? No, we don't have any employee details. Okay. So yesterday we have created the sequence for this invoice, right? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to create an employee table. This is a normal way to create, right? Create table, employee ID, first name, this varchar. Varchar is nothing but character varying. So this is the range which I am giving. So this particular first name should contain only 50 character. This last name should contain, this column should contain only, it will not accept more than that. This email should contain only 100. I'm restricting everything from here itself. Okay. And I have already told you about this numeric, and this is the floating point. Okay. Floating point. This will accept up to the 10 digit and a 2 digit as a decimal. Okay. Then joining date, it is in the date format. Okay. Yeah, year, month, day, that format. So current employee, this is a boolean. Okay, this boolean is nothing but it accept only true or false. True or false. So boolean is nothing but it will accept only true or false. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create this table. Okay. While creating the table itself, please listen carefully. While creating this table itself, I'm going to add the default sequence. Okay, default sequence by concatenating that particular sequence. Okay, that particular sequence with some string. Okay, with some string. So after concatenating with the string, this employee ID should become varchar, right? So right now I'm declaring it as an var varchar. Okay, and I'm giving some constraint like not null. Okay, then after that default. So default is nothing but by default, if you don't want to insert any, while inserting this rows inside the table, if you didn't insert any values for this column, then it will take this value, whatever I'm giving after the default, it will take that value. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to concatenate this emp underscore. Okay, emp underscore. This is nothing but a concatenate. Double pipe is nothing but a concatenate operator. Okay, using double pipe, I'm concatenating this emp with what I'm going to call the function next val of. Okay, inside this we have already seen, right? We have already seen all this function. See here, while inserting, I have called the next val of. In yesterday's class itself, we have already seen all these things. Hope you guys remember for the same employee or the invoice we have did. So similarly, for the next val is nothing but while inserting this for every insert, this particular next val will call by default, and it will insert the next value, the next value in the sequence by concatenating it with the this particular string. Since this is an employee table, I'm just concatenating emp word. Okay, emp string with the employee id. Okay, so what is my sequence? See here, I have already created the sequence, employee one sequence. Okay, so the sequence name is, it should comes with your table name, so that only you can able to identify for which table we have created the sequence. Okay, so it should come with the sequence name. So close bracket, and I'm just typecasting it as an varchar. Okay, so that's all. And I'm giving comma. See here, while creating the table itself with this table name and data type, I have added the constraint. With this constraint, what I have added the default keyword, and I am concatenating some string. Okay, some string with the sequence which I am going to generate. In yesterday's class, we have seen only this next val. I have created one sequence, and using next val function, we have iterated everything, right? Using next val, we have iterated everything. The next value, what are the things I have inserted using next val, I have iterated everything. So using now what I am doing is in create table itself, I have given this particular string to concatenate. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create this table. Okay. What happened? Create okay. Before creating the table, I had to create the sequence, right? So this is the sequence which I'm creating. Okay. So now sequence got created. See here, this is the sequence and this is the sequence number, and it start from 10, increment by 5, and min value is 10. So my starting value is 10 and increment by 5, which means after 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, like that my sequence goes on. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a table. Okay. I have referred this sequence. I have referred this sequence next val. Okay. Inside this, while creating the table for that particular which column I need to include this sequence. This employee one is the sequence. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the difference. Okay. So by default, by default, I have declared this sequence. Okay. By default, I have declared the sequence. So what is mean by default is, by default means if you didn't give any values while inserting, okay, if you didn't give any values while inserting, what it will do is it will insert by default on itself, okay, this value. Okay, so here I am inserting. So here what I am doing is I'm inserting, I'm deliberately giving this next value. Okay, with this next val, what is happening? Without this next val, what is happening? I'm going to show you. Okay, so with this next val of employee one sequence is nothing but my sequence name. I am going to give the next val. What it will do is 10, 15, 20 like that it will insert. Okay, but it will not insert the text. It will not insert the text given. Why? Because deliberately I am voluntarily giving the next value. Okay, this default will work only if I didn't give the value while doing insert. Okay, let me go and just insert this. Okay, see here, this is my insert query. Insert into employee one. Employee one is nothing but what? Employee one is my table name, and these are all the column names I need to insert. Okay, employee ID, first name, last name, email, and these are all the column names. And values, value is, this is my first row. Okay, this is my first row. Similarly, you can able to add any number of rows. Okay, so this is the insert query which we have already seen. Hope you guys clear in this. So this is the first employee. For employee ID, I'm doing the sequence. Okay, next val, I'm just calling the sequence. Okay, this is the sequence which I have created, and I'm just using next val function. I'm just calling the next value of the sequence which I have created. And first name is Annie Smith, and this is my email. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and pasting it. So here, just a minute, we have inserted. Okay, all the values got inserted. Sorry for the interrupt. See here all the three values got inserted. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select star from employee one. Okay, so here now you can see what are the employee ID which we got. Okay, 10, 15, 20. This is the sequence. This is the sequence which I have created. This is the sequence which I have created. Okay, but but the thing which we concatenate has not come here. See here, I have concatenate the EMP. So this is not coming here. Why means because deliberately on purpose I have given the value. On purpose I have given the value. Next val employee, do the sequence like a 5, 10, 15 like that it will insert. But default, what is the purpose of default? If I didn't give that value, okay, if I didn't give that value during insert, then it will insert on its own. So that is the purpose of default, right? So now what I'm going to do is for the same employee table, see here, I have deleted the employee ID. Okay. And also this next val sequence. I have deleted the employee ID. and next eval sequence and everything. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert without giving this employee ID and the next eval employee sequence. I'm going to insert just by giving the first name, last name, and email ID alone. So for the other things, I'm not going to insert. See here, there is a salary, joining date, and everything, current employee. So I didn't insert everything. Okay, just these three things, because it's there is no not null constraint given, so it is not compulsory to insert everything. Okay, if the not null constraint given, then you have to insert, otherwise it will raise an error. We have already seen about the not null constraint. So for now what I'm going to do is first name, last name, and email, these three columns I'm going to insert. Okay, so after inserting, it got inserted. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select star from employee 1. Okay, you can see here emp 50, emp 25, emp 30, emp 35, like that. My emp underscore got emp underscore string got concatenated. See here, you can notice that in the employee ID. Why? Because I have, while creating the, see here, while creating the table itself, I have mentioned it as a default. If I didn't insert this column deliberately, then please proceed with this thing. So that is called as a default. Okay. Now what we have learned is how to insert, how to concatenate some string. Okay. How to concatenate some string with the sequence which we have created. This is a sequence number. So for every insert, it will include this EMP25, EMP30, EMP35, like that. We have customized our employee ID. Okay, generating the sequence, by generating the sequence in a customized way. We have customized our employee ID so that you can able to differentiate between. See, you have if you give employee EMP IT for IT employees and all, the ID should be concatenate like this. Okay, EMP underscore IT, right? For CSE employees, you can give like this, CSE. Okay, for MEC employee. So in a customized way, okay, in a customized way, while creating the table itself, we have generated, while creating the sequence, we have generated our employee ID by concatenating the some string with this sequence. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just copy pasting this. Please just try this. Okay, just try this after creating the sequence. Just create one sequence on your own. Okay, just generate the sequence. Not it is not compulsory to generate the same thing. Okay, it can be your own thing. Okay, you can give any number, any increment, any min value, any max value, anything. And similarly for this also. Okay, it can be anything. So just try to generate the sequence. This is your exercise. Okay, while doing the exercise, while doing the practice session, just create one sequence like this. Okay, so that's all about so okay, next thing is what I'm going to do is while selecting the sequence. Okay, what I'm going to do is just to select, see, you have to very clear in create and select statement and all. So select statement is just for the temporary, it will create some temporary table. While selecting the table from the physical table, this create table will generate the physical table. Okay, this select query, what the select query will do, it will just generate some physical, generate some temporary table. Okay, so after completing the execution of that, the table got vanished. So that is just selecting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select some values by concatenating, select this sequence, okay, just by concatenating, yeah, some other string, okay. So let's see what happened. See here, it concatenate, see, up to 35 it got iterated, right? So by concatenating a or anything, okay, anything you wish with this sequence. So why I have created like this means, in order to show you that this employee sequence which we have created is an individual entity. Okay, we are just merging this entity with our table. It can able to act as an individual entity also. Okay, it's not compulsory that it should be within the table. Okay, it act as an individual entity, and I can able to access this employee sequence. Okay, this sequence which I have created in an individual manner also. Okay, so what is the last iteration value? It is 35. So with that, it incremented 5 more thing, and because we have given the increment as a 5, so after 35 it display the 40, and it will concatenate with the string I have given. Okay, like this way also, while selecting the table, okay, while selecting the thing, you can able to concatenate some string also. Okay, this is the string which I have concatenated while creating the table itself. Okay, so this entry will be in the table. This is the real entry which we got in the table while during inserts. Okay, okay, now what we are going to see is, hope you guys clear in this concept. Okay, sequence concatenate string with the some created sequence. Okay, so the next thing is default. So I have already told you about the default. What is mean by default is, while creating the table, okay, while creating the table, if I give anything like this default, then if you are not inserting, you don't want to, if you are not inserting anything for that particular column, okay, here employee ID. If I declare anything for this salary as a default, then if I didn't insert anything in the salary, it will not leave it as a null. Okay, null or blank space. You can avoid null or blank space. You can able to restrict those things using this default. By default, the table automatically include what are all the things which you have given in the default. Okay, so this is a very big advantage to avoid the null, avoid placing the null values, or even the not null constraint. Even the not null constraint will restrict the null values. But if I don't want to insert, see, for this particular employee, still now I didn't get any joining date, or still now this is the first month he is joining and the salary has not fixed yet. So, but I want his entry to be in the employee one. Okay, employee one table, I want his entry. So at that time, what I can do is, for this particular salary, okay, for this particular column alone, I can able to add the default. Okay, that is called as default. So while creating the default, see, while creating the default, you can able to create in many ways. Okay, using function as a default value for the column, sequence as a default, and expression as a default, and many more things are there. So I will leave it to you to explore on this. Okay, so just explore about this default. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, now I have already created this table, right? While creating the table itself, you can able to do, see, while creating the table itself, you can able to add something like default like that. Okay, see here, now I'm going to So here like this, you can add 0.00, okay, and it should not be not null, add a not null constraint, okay. So while creating the table itself like this, you can add, but I have already created. So what I'm going to do is, okay, what I'm going to do is, I will just use the alter table command. After creating the table, I want to add some default. I want to set some default values for this particular, okay, for this particular column. What I'm going to do is, I'm just using the alter table command, okay. So for setting the sequence also, okay, for our concatenating the sequence also, you can able to do the alter table command. See here, alter table employee one. After creating, if I didn't give this, okay, for example, if I didn't give this, if I didn't give this while creating the table, then what you can do, you can give like this: alter table employee one, alter column. Which column I need to alter? Employee ID column. Okay, set default. Set default. This set keyword is very much important. Okay, using the set keyword, what I'm going to do is, using the set keyword, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to set something. Okay, set some constraints, set some default value, set whatever this column needed, whatever the requirement, I'm going to set here. Set default. Okay, what should be inside the default? I'm going to concatenate something with the next value of the sequence. Okay, this is how we can able to alter the table, this employee one table. Okay, so but in the during the creation of a table itself, we have created. See, you can add the not null constraint also. Okay, here you can able to add the set not null. Okay, constraint like that, we have already seen all those things, right? Set not null, default, everything you can able to give it in the alter table command. So since we have already created, I'm not going to execute this. I'm just giving this command to you to execute. Okay, you just try drop this table and try this. Okay, take this one also as an exercise. So what we are going to do now, I have already created, okay, I have already created the table with the salary. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to set this employee table salary as a default. Okay, this is the first thing I'm going to do. See here, alter table employee one, alter column. Which column I need to alter? The salary column. Okay, set default. What I'm going to set default for this 0.0. If I didn't enter the salary, it will not going to be as a null. Okay, so by default, it will enter it as an 0.0. See here, I'm going to enter it. See, now my table got altered. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to view my table. Employee 1. See, you can see the physical structure of the table. You can see in the structure description of the table what it is having. Employee ID, character varying type. For character varying type, I have given as a not null. Okay, it should not be null. So here we have, for the employee ID, here we have added some sequence, right? By concatenating it with, as an EMP, we have added some sequence, right? So that particular sequence got updated in this structure of the table. Now recently what we have added, salary. Okay, for salary, what is my data type? Numeric 10 2, and here is the default. Okay, what is the default? Here is the default 0.0. I'm going to insert. Okay, I'm going to do some insert on this table. We have already inserted. I'm just taking that part. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I'm just trying to insert something inside the table. Okay, so the first name, last name, email, comma, what is after email? Salary. Okay, salary. Okay, so for this salary, I'm not going to insert anything. Okay, So by default, for example, I will, okay, first thing, I'm just inserting the salary part. Okay. After that, I'm deleting the salary and I will show you. See, I'm just inserting this salary. Okay. Now select star from employee one. Now my salary got inserted here, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to give anything for the salary. Okay, let us see. Annie Smith. Okay, it's some email. I'm just going to insert some values. Okay, now you can see I didn't insert anything for the salary, right? See here, I didn't insert anything for this ANN Smith. Okay, what it has given 0.0. So this is called as default. Okay, if you didn't give anything for that particular row, okay, then it will take what are all the things you have set as a default. I have set 0.0 as a default value for the salary column. See, it is better, right? Here, I didn't give the salary. So everything got filled as a null. So for any table, this null value is very, very dangerous, null and blank values. So all our analytics and all our reports might goes wrong due to this null values. Okay, so we have to be very, very careful while handling this null values. So in order to avoid that, okay, in order to avoid that, we have given some default. Okay, so by seeing this, okay, 0.0, we can able to analyze that, okay, this particular person didn't got fixed the salary yet. Like that, we can able to analyze. Excuse. So what I have completed yet is setting the default value for the column. Okay. Next thing what we are going to do is, for the next thing, see here, for the joining date, I have given as a default value as a current date. So this current date is nothing but a function in the Postgres. This what this current date will return. Okay, what this current date will return means it will return the current date and time. Okay, it will return current date and time. So current date for current date. Okay, so for by default, if I didn't enter any date, okay, for the joining date, I am setting default value as a function. See here, the second one, using function as a default value. Using default value as a, for the column we have finished, using function as a default value. So I'm setting this particular function as a default value for the joining date column. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, for this employee one, I'm just generating what happened, error near date. Okay. Alter column date, default current date. What I have given here, date only. Okay, let me see. Instead of date, I can able to give the some timestamp like that. Okay. So I have already having those things, I think. So all these things you have to try. I will give you all the um, queries. Okay, I'll give you all these queries. Just try. Okay, while creating the table itself, we can able to do this, and also while altering the table, some um, okay, let me check. Okay, I'll try to do it while creating the table. Okay, so I'm what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is see, see my table got created. Now I'm going to view employee one. Okay, so what I did was, see here, my current date got added. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert something. Okay, I'm going to insert. So let me change the name and everything. Otherwise, I will just leave it. Okay, this is the fresh table which we have created. I have inserted some values, and now what I'm going to do is select star from employee one. Okay, so you can see now I didn't give any values regarding to the date. Okay, regarding to this date, I didn't give any values while inserting. So what it is doing is, while creating the table, I have given the date as a current date as a default value. So by default, this current date got triggered. Okay, this current date function called, and if I insert any values in this, see here, comma date like that. If I joining date, if I insert any value, then it will take that date. If I didn't give any date, then automatically it will take the current date. Okay, what is the current date? It will take the today's date alone. It will not give the time. Okay, it will give the current date alone. Okay. So this is how, this is the second one, using function as a default. So you can use many kind of function related to this. I have used the date function. Okay, I have used the current date function. So let me know any doubts till now. If yes, please raise your hand, or just put it in the chat box about your doubts. Okay, no doubts. Shall we proceed for the next thing? Please raise your hand or give thumbs up or anything. Are you comfortable till now? Yes or no? Shall I proceed to next one? Next default? Yes or no? Just raise your hands. Are you people listening or not? See, if you are not willing to interact or not willing to raise your hand or anything, then there is no point of participation also. Okay, you have to participate. There's no point of just listening or attending. Okay, I'm going to continue. So here we have used the current date function as a default. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, the next thing is what as an expression. Okay, I'm going to use some expression as an default value. Okay, so for that expression, see here, for example, what I have created is, using expression, I have created one product table. Okay, so for this product table, the discount price should be an expression, right? Dynamically it should enter the discount price after calculating price into 0.9, which is nothing but it should calculate the discount price only for this much of percentage, only for 90 percentage of the discount, like that dynamically I have created. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to create this table, and I have just what happened. Okay, I didn't give the semicolon. Okay. What happened? This price is cannot use the column reference in default expression. Okay, cannot use a column reference in default expression. Okay, so let me check for this. Use default. Okay, so the price I have given as a numeric and not null, and this price I have calculated some expression as an default, so it is not accepting. Let me check. Cannot use column reference in default expression. Okay. Okay, let me check this particular part alone in tomorrow's session. Okay. Why it is not accepting the default for some expression like this. Okay. Let us try this in tomorrow's session. Okay. So next thing what I'm going to do is drop and truncate. Okay. So drop is nothing but if I want to drop this particular table employee, okay, my drop function, what the drop command will do is it will drop everything. Okay, drop table. Okay, this is the syntax: drop table, table name, employee one. Okay, this is the table name. If I do the description of the table, employee one, then it will not going to give you because it drop entire structure. Okay, it will drop the entire structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this employee table. I'm again going to create this employee table. Now I'm going to truncate. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to truncate. So the main difference between, okay, you have to understand the what is the main difference. Okay, what is the main difference between drop and truncate is, see, using slash d we have we can able to see the structure, right, the table structure. So using truncate, okay, using drop and truncate, we can able to delete the content inside the data, inside the table. Okay, so truncate is nothing but it will delete only the it will truncate only the content inside the table. It will not delete the entire structure of the table. So you have to know the difference. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to truncate the table. Okay. So if it has got cascade, if anything got cascade like a primary key or a foreign key like that, then you should use the cascade. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type the command. So I want to truncate this table, right? Truncate table, table name. Truncate, same command. Okay. Truncate table, table name. I will just show you the difference. Okay. So employee one. So I didn't give any kind of relationship with this table. So I don't want to add cascade delete on the cascade delete and all. I don't want to do. So in tomorrow's session, I will tell you how to do the cascade delete for this table and all. Okay. So for now, what I'm going to do is I have just created this employee table, and now what I'm going to do is I will just insert some values inside this. All my values got inserted. select star from employee. So, okay, employee 1, right? Employee 1. So you can able to see the content inside the table. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the truncate. So you have to know the difference between truncate and delete. So truncate table. Okay. Now my table got truncated. So what if, see here, /d employee 1. See, my table structure remains the same. My table structure didn't got deleted. So this is the main difference between truncate. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select 0 rows. So if I do the drop table, it will delete all the entire structure of my table. But while doing the truncate table, it will delete only the rows inside the table, the content inside the table, not the structure. Okay, not this structure or any other constraint. It is not going to delete any of them. So this is the main difference between truncate and delete. So what we have seen in today's session, we have seen how to concatenate the sequence with the sequence generated. Okay, with the sequence generated and sorry, concatenate some string with the sequence generated and what is mean by default. And these are all the things which we have seen on the default. How to set the default values for the column, how to set the default sequence. Okay, default sequence, the first thing we have already seen. See here, this is a default sequence. I have set the default value for the sequence. Okay, and function as a default, and this expression alone we need to see it. Okay, and at last, what is the difference between drop and truncate? Okay. Okay, hope you guys clear in this concept. Please do practice and come tomorrow. Okay, now since you people are okay, Rajesh, can we stop the recording? Rajesh, can you please stop the recording?